Hi everyone. Let me know if you can hear and see me okay. Welcome back to another live English class. I hope you're all well. I can see there's a few people in here already. Hi Stacey. There's someone called 123456. Hello, 123456. I'm going to call you 123 for short. Hello. SH is here. Hi SH. Hope you're all well. Welcome back to another live English class. G has just joined us. Hi, G. G says, hi, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. I am doing very well. Thank you, G. It is a bit of a gloomy Friday afternoon here in the UK. The weather has taken a bit of a turn this week, which is disappointing. It was on a really good, sunny streak last weekend. And I definitely got out and enjoyed the sun a lot. I actually sunburnt my forehead. I definitely got out and enjoyed the sun last weekend. But this week it's kind of gone a bit grey and a little bit rainy, sadly. But I hope everything is well in all the different places that you guys are. J Vera said, 6 is here. Hi. I think it's like 6 people are here, but either way, doesn't matter. Hello, welcome to the live stream. How has everyone's week been? My week's been pretty good. I had a very busy weekend last weekend. So as the regular viewers will know, last week's lesson was arranged to a different day because I had a holiday. I had a 3-day weekend last week, which was great. And I was very, very busy and saw lots of friends because lockdown is beginning to lift in the UK. So I was having lots of drinks outside on the beach. It was my friend's birthday on Friday and we all had drinks on the beach because I live on the beach, which is very lucky. And then on Sunday, I did something that was quite exciting. I went to the countryside because my friend lives in the countryside with his family. So we went and sat in his garden, and he also lives near a place called West Wittering, which is like a really nice sandy beach. And so our plan was to get in some kayaks that he had and to paddle, to kayak to West Wittering Beach and have a beer and chill out. So yeah, we got to his house, we put on all our wetsuit gear. It was the first time I've properly worn a wetsuit because usually I don't do it very properly and I just go in a swimming costume when I go kayaking or paddleboarding or whatever. But we got proper in the gear, proper ready for it. And then we got out onto the sea to kind of kayak around the bay a little bit, I guess you could call it. We were just going out and then along a little bit, only 40-minute kayak. But it was so windy that I don't know if it was me being rubbish at kayaking, although I usually am quite good, so I don't think it was that, or the fact it was just so windy, or maybe the kayak, I'm not sure, it was there's I don't really know what you call it, but there's a thing, not a paddle, but there's something that sticks out at the bottom of a kayak that's meant to help you steer it. And my one was broken. So I don't know if I can just totally blame it on that. But I just kept drifting to one side or the other, getting really blown by the wind and finding it really hard to steer the kayak in the right direction. So I just kept drifting back towards the shore. And so my friend was we were kind of paddling along and it was going okay because the wind was behind us, and he was let's quickly test paddling against the wind to see how that goes. And thank God we did, because otherwise we would have definitely got stuck if we had continued the journey, because paddling against the wind was just totally impossible. So we ended up just drifting our way back to shore, getting out of the kayaks and then dragging them back to his house, which took probably about half an hour, but it felt like a very long journey, kind of dragging this heavy kayak through the sand. It was cool though, because I saw a lot of crabs and other sea life, so that was quite fun. But yeah, we just thought it was such a British expedition, because a very classic thing that happens on like British holidays or holidays in the UK is that things won't quite go to plan. I don't know why that seems like a stereotypical thing for British people, but it seems like things just don't go to plan when you're trying to do outdoorsy stuff. Like you'll try have a barbecue and then it will just rain or something along those lines. So whilst it didn't quite work out, it was a good story. And definitely a good ab workout as well. My goodness, my abs really hurt the next day. Lee says hi, as does Hyunso. Guy Young says hello. SH says it was gloomy in Korea too. That's a shame. And 123's had a good week. I'm glad. And Min Lee also says hello. Hello everyone. Hi. Okay, so. Oh, and as does Hyun Choi also says hi. Hello. So kind of on the topic already, but on the topic of British holidays and kind of outdoor activities, I suppose, that brings us on to the topic for today's live English class. So today I'm going to be talking to you about the 3 wonders of England, as I have decided to title them. So this title is kind of based off of like you know the 7 wonders of the world. There's like several different versions of the 7 wonders of the world. There's the wonders of the ancient world, which is like I think different pyramids and also something in like Babylon. And then there's the 7 wonders of like the new world, which we'll talk more about later. So I don't want to give anything away. But I've decided to pick 3 of my favourite tourist hotspot destinations, things to see in England to show you guys today, in case you make a trip over to England, maybe after the coronavirus has finally left us alone. But yeah, the reason I keep saying England and not the UK is because if I included places in Wales, Northern Ireland and Scotland, we would be here forever. We would be here all night. So to make my job of choosing attractions a lot easier, I decided to just stick to things in England. So there are, of course, many other amazing places to go and see in Wales, Northern Ireland and Scotland as well. And there's more places in England. These are just 3 of my favourites. So I think without further ado, let's get going. So as per usual, if you guys have any comments or questions along the way, please leave them in the chat box and I will answer your questions as we go. So here we are, the 3 wonders of England. I'm not sure where this is in England, but it looks really beautiful. I want to go. We already have a question. So before we get started, Hyeon Choi asks, where is a good place to go during a summer vacation? Well, that's a good question. I don't think that there's anywhere in the UK that's better during the summer than other places, because the weather, it's not that different in different places in the UK. I think if you're wanting like a hot, sunny summer, it's probably not going to happen in England, or it's a bit of a risk, but maybe sticking to the south of England a little bit better. But apart from that, it's such a small country. Our weather doesn't vary that much. It's a very mild climate. But I would say if you're wanting like a very summery vacation, I would probably stick to maybe the beachy locations, such as like Cornwall. Cornwall beaches, I've spoken about them on this live stream before. There's actually a video about this, so if you go and check out the video, that's I think it's the top 3 places to visit in the UK. Cornwall is one of those, and they have beautiful sandy beaches that are just gorgeous, so I would definitely recommend Cornwall for a summer vacay. But yes, back onto the three wonders of England. So, wonder number one is my favourite one out of all of them. I could have saved my favourite to last, but I decided to not do that and to do it first. But number one is Stonehenge, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with. So, Stonehenge is 10 miles north of the historic city of Salisbury. Are you guys, actually, I'm going to double check that this is correct before I say it, but you guys might recognize Salisbury Cathedral because it was quite famous. Something quite famous happened there recently, and I'm just double checking that I've got the right place before I say it. Yes. So Salisbury Cathedral became quite famous in 2018 because it is where Sergei Skripal, who was a former Russian military officer and double agent for British intelligence, so a spy, he and his daughter were poisoned there back in 2018. So that was quite like a big news story and very interesting. So if you recognise the name Salisbury, that's probably why. But yes, Stonehenge is near that city. And what it is a prehistoric monument. So as you can see, it's lots of rocks, but they're very, very important and significant rocks. So when you visit the site, I'm not sure if you can go up to the rocks anymore. I think you used to be able to go up. I'm pretty sure you probably wouldn't have been able to touch them, but I think you used to be able to get a lot closer to them. But nowadays, I think they're being a bit more protective, so you can't get as close as you could before. But you can go walk around the area, see the megaliths, as they're called, which is just the name of these big giant rocks. And you can also go and visit the visitor centre, which has a really good exhibition which explains kind of different ancient objects and also how the rocks were erected. So the thing that's interesting about Stonehenge is that it is probably one of the oldest monuments. All of the different types of rocks are from quite far away places. So I think a lot of the kind of amazement was how this prehistoric monument was built without technology, or with the technology that would have been available at the time. So there's a lot of mystery that goes on with Stonehenge as to how it was built and also particularly why it was built, which I'll get onto in a minute. But yeah, how it was built has kind of been discovered by archaeologists. So it was built in several stages. The first monument was an early henge monument, and it was built around 5,000 years ago. And the unique stone circle was erected in the late Neolithic period in about 2500 BC. And then later on in the early Bronze Age, many burial mounds were built nearby. So it was definitely over the years clearly been a very important place for these ancient peoples. Now, as I said earlier, the reason why I find Stonehenge personally so interesting is that it is shrouded in so much mystery, because we don't know what it was used for really, or why these ancient peoples erected it, and also how, because yeah, these stones, as you can see, they're really big and heavy, and these people lacked the technology you would think to lift these heavy stones. So it's quite an impressive feat for the time. The origin and purpose of the monument is not clear, but there are of course many, many theories, some ranging from more ludicrous to logical. Some theories include the coronation place for Danish kings, a druid temple, which is my favourite. That's my favourite explanation, because I don't know if I've mentioned this in the live stream before, but I'm really interested in ancient British history and like paganism and kind of the pre-Christian religions in the UK, like that sort of stuff. It's just, so there's just like not much evidence of it left, so it's all very like mystical, so I really like it. Another theory is that it's an astronomical computer for predicting eclipses and solar events, a place where ancestors would worship, a cult centre for healing. I think there is definitely a conspiracy theory out there that it was made by ancient aliens. Take that as you will. But today, the interpretation of Stonehenge, which is most widely accepted, is that it was a prehistoric temple aligned with the movements of the sun, which I still think is super impressive, because I just don't understand the kind of science behind how these ancient people would have aligned these stones with solar recordings. Like, that's crazy. That's so cool. Jay Vera said, I heard that Stonehenge is popular for Korean tourists for a day trip, including Bath. Yes, I think it is near the city of Bath. So this is all in kind of like the southwest-ish of England, and there's loads of cool cities in the southwest and beautiful nature for you to go visit. So yeah, I think that Stonehenge is definitely a must-see for anyone coming to the UK, as it's also on the way to so many cool places. You also pass it if you go to Glastonbury Festival. So I've not actually been up to Stonehenge before, but I've gone past it in a coach and seen it from afar on my way to a music festival. So yeah, I think that that kind of area of the UK seems to be very in touch with like ancient history, kind of the southwest. There's a lot of pagan stuff that goes on down there. So I really want to go there this summer. Go look at some pagan things. Okay. Number 2. So my second wonder of England is the Yorkshire Sculpture Park, which I don't know how well known it is, but I was told about it by a friend. And where it is, it's in West Bretton, which is near Wakefield in West Yorkshire. And it's basically an open air gallery showing sculptures by both British and international artists. For example, the park has a collection of the artist Henry Moore, and the park's collection of Moore's work is one of the largest open-air displays of bronzes in Europe. So that's pretty cool. The sculpture park occupies 500 acres of parkland, so it's in the countryside, of Bretton Hall, which I believe is like a stately manor, stately home. And it straddles the border of West Yorkshire and South Yorkshire. And the Yorkshire like countryside and scenery is really, really beautiful. And there's lots of cool cities to visit in Yorkshire as well, including Sheffield and Leeds. Why I picked the Yorkshire Sculpture Park as one of my 3 wonders of the UK is because I think it's quite a unique experience to be able to take in the beauty of the Yorkshire countryside at the same time as being surrounded by beautiful, impressive, and as you can see from the photo, often very, very large works of art. So I think that just that is like a sensory overload in the best possible way. And I just think it's cool for the like collision between the beauty of nature and the beauty of art. They're like my 2 favourite types of beauty, if that makes sense. But them 2 together, I think, is a really beautiful and amazing combination. Also, they currently, I think until April 2022, have a exhibition by Damien Hirst. So the picture in the live stream, here, I'll move myself out of the way. So this picture here, I think is actually one of the statues there by Damien Hirst, I think. So that is quite exciting. Damien Hirst is a famous British artist, for those of you who don't know. So I actually really want to go up and visit the Yorkshire Sculpture Park this summer as well. Just to see the Damien Hirst exhibition. So yeah, that is number 2. Some more people are popping into the live stream. Sia Wu says hello. Hello, Sia Wu, as does Jenny. Hello, Jenny. We are talking about 3 top tourist attractions in England today. So yeah, so far we've had Stonehenge and the Yorkshire Sculpture Park. So now we are moving on to the final of our wonders of England, number 3, which is the Eden Project, which some of you might recognise. I'm not sure if that's an actual photo of the Eden Project, but I think the Eden Project is quite famous. So the Eden Project is in Cornwall, as I mentioned earlier, so maybe this is something you could do if you wanted to go on a summer beachy holiday, would be to go visit Cornwall and go and see the Eden Project. So yeah, this is in the southwest of England. And basically what it is a giant botanical garden, which is constructed of different dome-shaped enclosures which host thousands of different types of plant species that are native to different types of environments. They're not native to the UK inside the enclosures. And each dome enclosure emulates a natural biome. So it's a very, very impressive feat of engineering. The biomes are made from hundreds of hexagonal and pentagonal, which is 2 shapes. Hexagonal and pentagonal, I'm going to pronounce this terribly, but ethylene terafluoroethylene, or ETFE, for a more short, catchy version, ETFE, which I guess is a type of material. But these are inflated cells which are supported by like a tubular structure. And what they do is they mimic different climates. So the largest of the 2 biomes simulates a rainforest environment. So it's very, very humid and wet. So there's lots of water being pumped in and it's very, very hot. And it's actually the largest indoor rainforest in the world. So that's pretty cool. And it's in England, a rainforest. Crazy. But the second environment is a Mediterranean environment. There is also an outdoor botanical garden, which is where they have the plants and flowers and wildlife that is native to the UK in general and more specifically Cornwall. So it has many, many plants and it provides important and interesting backstory. For example, it'll say their prehistoric history and heritage as well. Jenny says, I hear the Eden Project is beautiful. Yes, I've actually not been yet, but my friend went last year for her birthday and she said that it was just like such an amazing experience. I really want to go. Wow, there's so many things that I want to do. I'm going to have a really busy summer, hopefully, as things begin to open up again. But yeah, why I think it's cool is that it's a very unique experience, especially for those who live in the UK, because we don't have access to see this kind of wildlife or these kinds of plant species very often or at all. And yeah, as I said, I love the English countryside and I think we've got lots of cool nature in England, but because we have quite a mild climate, it does tend to produce maybe less like colourful plant species and interesting plant species. So the Eden Project is a great place to come and see that. Also, it is a great educational tool and environmental tool. So it's a frequent destination for school trips so that students can connect more with nature and the environment. I think if you're trying to teach people about what we need to do to, like, for example, save the rainforest, like teach people about deforestation, going to things like the Eden Project is going to make you connect on a more deeper level because you'll see the environment that you're trying to protect rather than it seeming like really far away from you. It kind of brings it home a little bit. And you can, it's just like an interactive learning tool, which I think is always the best kind of learning tool. The Eden Project also does really important work raising awareness about climate change and especially the importance of the natural world to us. As I was saying, like, it might feel like the rainforest is really far away and nothing to do with us in the UK or in Europe. But however, it focuses on the interdependence of plants and people and the plants in the Eden Project are labelled with their medicinal uses. So a lot of the medicines we'll use in our daily lives will come from plants that can be found in the Eden Project / in the rainforest and such. Furthermore, the Eden Project is very eco-friendly, which is good because obviously it takes a large amount of water and electricity to power this thing, and if they're trying to protect the environment, obviously they want to do that in an eco-friendly way. So it uses sanitized rainwater. I think it's built into what's called a quarry, which is like, I don't know exactly what a quarry is, to be honest, but it's, I think, some sort of like land structure where lots of water will accumulate. So it uses the sanitized rainwater that accumulates underneath it, I think, to create the humid conditions for the plants. And it also uses geothermal electricity, so some sustainable electricity and water sources there. Jay Vera says, I like the name of the Garden of Eden. They might try to show the beginning of the world with various plants and trees. Yeah, I think that must be why it's called the Eden Project. Having a little biblical reference there, I think it's quite apt, isn't it? And Jenny says, a friend of mine has been there on a school trip. There we go. Yes, a very educational trip. Nice. Okay, so that is everything for my personal 3 top tourist attractions, my 3 wonders of England. And now let's move on to some vocab for today. However, whilst we're doing vocab, I would love to hear from you guys about any tourist attractions that you visited in the UK, and in England or in the UK in general, and what you thought of them. So maybe you can share your top 3 in the comments as well. Jay Vera says, happy to know these places which are relatively new and little known to Koreans. I expected Seven Springs or some places like that. I don't know what Seven Springs is, Jay Vera. So, okay, let's move on to our first piece of vocab for today's lesson. So I've got 3 pieces of vocab which will be helpful for understanding conversations to do with tourism. And the first one is very related to the last wonder of England that I just spoke about, and it is a noun. So as per usual, I would love for you guys to first try and guess what this noun means in the comment box before I reveal the answer. But it is ecotourism. So what do you think this word means? Ecotourism. Let me know in the chat box any of your guesses. Jay Vera says, oops, Seven Sisters is what she meant. So that's so interesting, Jay Vera. I live right by Seven Sisters. For those of you who don't know, that is another like tourist attraction in the UK, and it's basically just a big collection of cliffs in the southeast of England, and it's very, very beautiful. So I do recommend Seven Sisters as well. But yeah, I live right by there. Janny says, I don't know if you've mentioned, but I really like the Cotswolds. I did not mention that actually. But yeah, the Cotswolds is a really beautiful area of the UK as well. I think it's very like quaint. Lots of nice country walks and pubs and stuff. Good suggestion. SH says, from London to Cornwall by public transport system, is that okay? That's a good question. Not really, no. So unfortunately, Cornwall is, I think, a really beautiful area of the UK, but it's actually quite tricky to travel to. I think you can get a train, but it'll take a very long time. And to some places in Cornwall, eventually you will need a car, sadly. Okay, so we've got some guesses about ecotourism. Janny says, visiting a place that is eco-friendly. SH says an eco-friendly environment spot. Hyunso Lee says, I think it means a tour in nature. And J Vera has got it. Well done. They've said tourism with minimized damage to the environment. Very good. Well done, guys. So yeah, ecotourism is about minimizing our environmental impact as tourists. So usually tourism can lead to lots of bad effects on the local environment, such as litter, maybe burning fossil fuels from transportation, that kind of thing, mainly litter. But ecotourism is a type of tourism that aims to reduce the harmful impacts that visitors can have on the local communities and environment. Travellers are encouraged to keep their carbon footprint low, so not maybe using varied types of transport or cycling. Support local communities, so that's not using big companies, so supporting the small businesses for going on tours maybe done by local people. And not interfering with the wildlife, so don't go around chasing around any wildlife. But in a sentence, you might say, the increasing popularity of ecotourism will help to preserve some of the world's most spectacular natural attractions. So yeah, I want to encourage you guys to take part in ecotourism in the future when we can travel again, because it's a lot better than traditional tourism. Okay, next word is... Oh, I just realised it's not a noun. So the next word is an adjective, and it is peak. So in terms of tourism, what do you think this means? Peak. Any guesses in the comments? Jiwoo says about ecotourism, they got the answer right, well done. They said travelling in an eco-friendly way, kind of responsible to nature areas. Very good, well done Jiwoo. And Johnny says, can you use it in a sentence with ecotourism? I feel like that was said before I mentioned the sentence, but I'll give you another example. So you might say, this summer I want to take part more in ecotourism rather than traditional tourism. So I'm going to book a tour with a member of the local community. There you go. SH says mountaintop. You're actually not wrong. So the peak of a mountain is correct, but I'm talking about that's a noun, the peak. So I'm talking about an adjective. So it's a different meaning of the word peak, but well done. Javira says busy season. Jani says a highly visited time. Hyunsu says the best. So yeah, these are all very good guesses. Jiwoo says the busiest season. And yeah, you guys are correct. Well done. Excellent. So yeah, peak in the travel industry means the busiest season. So the year in the travel industry, the year is divided into 3 seasons. Peak season, which is usually mid-June to August in the UK. Shoulder season, which is April to mid-June and September to October, so kind of like the medium. And then off season, which is November to March, so that's not busy at all, winter. So peak season is the time of year where most people go on holiday, so the summer holidays basically, and all of the tourist attractions are open. The weather is nicer and it's more expensive. So if you're looking to book a holiday to the UK, I mean, obviously to get the best weather, you'd probably want to come in peak season, which is like mid-June, but it also might be a good idea to come in May. So May is the shoulder season. So that means that the prices aren't as expensive and places aren't as busy. However, the weather in May is actually still quite nice. So that's kind of a little tip for you guys, that if you want to come visit the UK, maybe try come in the shoulder season, when things will be a little bit less busy and a little bit cheaper. And May is the best bet because the weather in May is actually quite lovely in the UK. So an example sentence of peak season is, the hotel was fully booked for the whole of the peak season. Okay, on to the final bit of vocab for today's lesson. And it is another noun. And it's something you might hear in a tourist office. A little bit of a clue for you there. So it is an excursion. So what do you think this means? Excursion. I'll pronounce it one more time because it's kind of a tricky pronunciation. Excursion. So what do we think that means? Any guesses? Hyun Choi says the peak season is coming soon. I live in the north and there's no room left. Oh dear. Is that in the north of England or the north of Korea? 123 has guessed that excursion is a small journey. Hyun-soo says a small tour nearby. Jani says a trip. Jiwoo says a little short trip. Jani also says day trip. All of you guys are kind of correct. Well done. So yeah, it's a trip or usually like an activity, like a day trip, I guess is the best definition. Technically, according to the dictionary, it's a journey taken for pleasure. So for example, I went on an excursion last weekend when I went kayaking. We went on a little trip, not very far, just slightly out into the sea and then back again because it was too windy. But yes, so in another sentence, you might say the resort offers guests excursions to nearby islands. Or maybe you'll take an excursion from Bath to Stonehenge for the day. That could be another example. Good, okay. Jani says, as I'm in international school, we go to spring and autumn excursions. That sounds really fun. Where have you been? And Javira says, I've had an excursion to Ireland when I used to live in England to study. So I think Ireland would be too far for an excursion unless you only went for the day. So an excursion is a small trip, usually close by. So I would say you went on a trip to Ireland or a holiday to Ireland if you studied in the UK. And SH says from June is peak season in Korea. Wow, so peak season is approaching everywhere, I think. All right, well done, guys. Good job. Now it's time for my favourite part of the lesson, which is the mini quiz. Yay! Okay, is everyone ready for today's mini quiz? So today we've got something a little bit different. So I want you to guess these wonders of the world, and I put in brackets new. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the live stream, there are like the ancient wonders of the world, which I think were like different pyramids in Egypt and things like that. And now there are new wonders of the world, which I think will be a bit more recognizable and are still around today. So there is a picture. I have purposely tried to get a picture that isn't too obvious. So I hope this isn't too easy, but there is a picture and I want you to tell me what the wonder is. So in the comments, type what the wonder is and where it is. And I want you to be as specific about the location as you possibly can. So not just the country, but also sometimes the region as well. Okay. So 1, 2, 3 is ready. Sky is ready. Jani's ready. Okay, let's get going. So number 1, what wonder is this? And bonus points for where is it? So there are only 7 wonders of the New World, and I've got 5 of them here. So who can tell me what wonder of the world is this? I wonder if I can zoom in, actually. I'm not going to try zoom in because it will probably mess up if I do that. So, any guesses for which wonder of the world this is? 1, 2, 3 was very close. SH has got it. Hyunso's got it. Sky's basically got it. But bonus points for where it is. And I want the region, not just the country, because the country's a little bit too obvious. So does anyone know what district this is in? So everyone is correct. The name of the wonder is the Great Wall of China. So I've seen a couple of you say Great Wall in China. So in English, the name of this location is the Great Wall of China. Johnny guesses that it's in Beijing. Not quite. SH thinks it's in Peking. Not quite. So the region that the Great Wall of China is in, or the district, is I'm going to pronounce this terribly. Huaru? Okay, I'm going to type it in the chat window because I'm definitely butchering it. Because unsurprisingly, my Chinese is not very good. / doesn't exist. So that is the name of the district, is in the chat box. So yeah, there we go. Well done, guys. Excellent. And I think it is in northern China, I'm pretty sure. Okay. The second wonder of the world is this one. So, what is this? And where is it? So, Jani says, I can speak Chinese. Well done. You must be very, very clever. So you can speak Korean, Chinese, and English. That's very impressive. I can only speak English and the smallest amount of Vietnamese possible. And it's even smaller these days. It used to be a lot more. But yeah, everyone's getting it. Well done. So Sky's got it. Good job. Johnny got it. 1, 2, 3 got it. Hyunsu, SH, Sky, Stacy, Ginny, Lee. Well done. You guys are so smart. This is the Colosseum in Rome, Italy. Well done, guys. Very, very good. Congratulations. So 2 points for everyone. That's crazy. Okay, number 3. Where is this? Well, what is this and where is it? So here I just want the name of it and just the country, because I couldn't find the region. / I'm not sure if, I think the name of it is the region, if that makes sense. So yeah, just what is this and what country is it in? Sky says Mexican Old Town. Not quite right. You're in the right region of the world, but not quite the right country. Hyunsu's got it. 1, 2, 3 again along the right lines. Ginny got it. Metian got it. Johnny got it. Well done, guys. So this is Machu Picchu, which is in Peru. And I think Sky guessed that it was Mayan, and I'm actually going to check now whether it was Inca or Mayan. I'm trying to see. Incan. So Machu Picchu is an Incan citadel set high in the Andes Mountains in Peru. Wouldn't you just love to go visit here? It would be so incredible, wouldn't it? I really want to go. I've never been to South America and I really want to go. But well done, guys. Very good. Okay, let's move on to number 4. Oh. What is this and where is it? So this time I would like you to guess what it is, the country, and if you can, the region of the country. Although that's quite tricky, I think. Metian asks, have you ever been to Machu Picchu? No, I haven't, but I really, really, really want to go. Sky has got it. Hyunsu's got it. Jani's got it, as is Metian. Please let me know if I'm saying your name correctly or if I'm totally butchering it. 1, 2, 3's got it, and they've not got quite the location quite right, but well done, everyone. So this is, of course, the Taj Mahal, which is such a recognizable building. So I really tried to find a picture that wasn't too obvious. But well done, you all got it. That was excellent. So yeah, it's the Taj Mahal, which is in Agra in India. So everyone got the country, but yeah, the area of India that it's in is Agra. Okay, let's move on. Hyunsu got it. Well done, Hyunsu. Very clever. Okay, let's move on to the fifth and final wonder of the world in our quiz today. And what is this and where is it? Again, I've tried to get a picture that's not too clear to try and confuse you guys because you're all so clever. As Jani says, we're so good. You are so good. So I'm trying my best to trick you. But it's not working. But anyway, what is this statue? So just to give you a bit of a hint, we're looking here. Not the here or there. This bit. So what is it? A lot of people have got the location. But do you know the name? So that's quite tricky because I didn't know the name of this statue. I recognised it, but I could not tell you what it was called before I looked it up for this mini quiz. So anyone who can guess the name of the statue, I'll be very impressed. But yeah, a lot of people are getting the country. Do you know what city it's in? Ginny's got the city. Well done. Metehan has guessed one of the servant greatest, which is a good guess, but not quite. So I'm not sure anyone's got the name. It's a shame that Beatrice isn't here today. So usually one of our viewers, Beatrice, is from Brazil. So she would get this straight away, but I don't think she's in the chat today. But okay, everyone's guessed right. It is in Brazil. And yes, well done, Chan. It's in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Good job, guys. And the name of the statue, which I'm not surprised that people couldn't guess, except Stacey has literally just guessed it. Well done, Stacey. Really good job. So it is Christ the Redeemer in Rio de Janeiro. So well done, Stacey. Very good. I don't know what the name of the statue is in Portuguese, so I don't know its proper name. But in English, we call it Christ the Redeemer. So yeah, well done, guys. Very good. Excellent work. You guys were so good at the mini quiz as usual. So yeah, that is everything for today's live English class. Yes, Johnny said such a long name. I know. Very long name. But yeah, I hope you guys all have an amazing weekend. And thank you so much for joining me in the live class today, taking part in the live chat. Sky says, great quiz today. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Very good. And Jani says, well done, Stacey. Yes, well done, Stacey. You got triple points for that because that was quite a tricky one. So yeah, that's everything for today's live stream. As per usual, there's going to be a poll in the community section of the Britcent channel for the topic for next week's live stream. So if you can please all go vote in the poll and let me know what you guys want to talk about next week. Also, if you have any ideas of what options you would like to talk about, please leave them in the comments on this live stream and I will take a look and try and include them in the vote. I'd love to hear from you guys more about what you want to talk about. So yeah, I hope you guys have a really great weekend. Jani says, I really enjoyed the quiz. Thank you, Flora. You're welcome. Jay Vera says, I hope you have a lovely weekend. Yes, I'm attempting to run 10K tomorrow. So that's basically all I'm doing this weekend. So you all have to wish me lots of luck on doing that. Hyunsu says, thanks, Flora. I really enjoyed this. My first live class with Britcent. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Well, come back here next week. Same time, same place. Okay, I hope you all have a lovely weekend and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.